Our normal isn't normal. You might be confused or at my statement. You may wonder, what could she possibly mean? And you have a right to be perplexed or hopefully interested. It's a strange thing to say, especially in a time like this, where most of us just cannot wait to go back to normal. However, I fully believe that this way of life that some of us is so desperately longing to return to is flawed. Our normal hurts ourselves, others, and the environment. As we all know, the coronavirus has greatly disrupted our day-to-day life. When our lockdown was announced in March, I was in the privileged position to still have a warm bed and food on my plate. But I, just like each and every person watching this, also had my own worries and fears. But can I share something with you? After a short period of time, I guiltily admitted I enjoyed the time at home. Don't get me wrong, I was still wrought with anxieties and fears and real care for those around me. But some part of me actually enjoyed and preferred the simpler life I found myself in. I spent regular time with my family. I spent more time outside. My vegetable patch was flourishing. I was exercising regularly and enjoying it. I was eating wonderful home-cooked meals with vegetables out of my garden, and I read, something that I love to do, but don't always find the time to do. As you listen to me rambling on and on, you might find that you also experience the same. Did you also become more aware of your surroundings, your neighbors, and your life? I found that I engaged with it better and appreciated it more. My statements might just sound too good to be true. Trust me, I'm not saying that I lived this perfect life amidst the chaos. As I've stated before, I had my own worries and fears, and yes, sometimes I did feel lonely or isolated, but the net result is I lived more balanced. It even helped my work ethic, and I was more efficient. I repeat, not everyone shares my experience. For some, the lockdown was just something to be survived or endured. However, I saw how people stood together and touched one another's lives, even though we weren't allowed to come within 1 meter of one another. From the teenage girl making masks for charity, to the people fighting, ensuring the homeless get at least one meal a day, to the 99-year-old veteran who raised millions of pounds for the NHS. Not only did I start appreciating one another, but the environment as well. The air was cleaner, quieter, as well as the roads, inviting more and more wildlife back into our urban jungle. My garden was filled with birdsong, and at night the odd jackal could be heard. Something I haven't heard since childhood. Inhabitants of Venice could not believe how clear the waters were because of a decreased population and decreased water traffic. Swans swam around and shoals of fish returned. But let's take a step back and look again at our normal. Consumerism plays a huge role in this normal of ours. It's the driving force in many Western economies. People are encouraged to partake in this activity where their worth is measured by how much they contribute to consumerism. Many nowadays see shopping as a hobby and find solace in it, but the high doesn't last for long before most come plummeting down. Ask me, I'm a teen girl. Apparently, I should know. Finding your worth in the things you wear, can afford, or buy is detrimental to ourselves. Additionally, excessive time shopping could increase the sense of rushing and busyness in our lives, even though we're just searching for a pair of shoes. It takes away from the important things in life. In lockdown, I had very little retail therapy, and thus I had more time and I was happier. Additionally, everything we do has a ripple effect. No decision or choice that we make is isolated. That t-shirt you are wearing, the one which you thought was a total utter bargain, was probably made in a developing country like Bangladesh. According to UNICEF, about 1 million children aged 10 to 14 are in the workforce there. No normal should exist if it means another suffers because of it. Consumers demand more for less, and with many receiving scraps for wages and no additional health benefits like healthcare. Therefore, that shit that cost you a penny cost another a pound. Your shirt's price tag did not include the externalized cost. Your nylon shirt probably did not include the cost it had on the environment, from extracting the oil, processing it, manufacturing the textile, dyeing the textile, producing the shirt, shipping the shirt, transporting it to the reseller, and finally you buying it. And then after a short period of time, discarding it because it never held much worth. Everything that we do consume and buy uses energy and resources, which are scarce. However, the global economy still continues to grow without taking into account the fact that our Earth is not infinite. Nature has its limits and it's in conflict with our society, our economy. Our activities are harmful to the environment, and because we depend on the environment, on our Earth, it's in turn harmful towards ourselves. Just listen to this. 11,000 deaths were avoided across Europe during the lockdown because of decreased use of fossil fuels. This does not show you that our way of life is flawed, if it's even harmful to breathe. The pandemic has shed light on all the faults and flaws in our normal, and many social and environmental issues have re-emerged. However, I believe instead of us pondering on all that is wrong, we have the perfect opportunity to change this around, and for the better. We have the opportunity to rebuild and find a new normal, one that is better for all of us. I do realize that governments will have to put certain policies in place to solve our major environmental and social issues. However, I believe we, the people, also have a role to play. And the solution is quite simple, I believe. To live sensitively, to always be aware of yourself, the environment, and those around you. And in this day and age where knowledge is at the press of a button, ignorance is not an excuse. But it's not just to live sensitively, it's to be accountable as well. If you realize what you are doing is bad for the environment, yourself, or others, stop doing it, find an alternative. However, I still do realize that we are humans and mistakes will be made, but that's okay because at least we will be trying. The pandemic is a horrible situation, and in no way am I trying to undermine it or make light of it. My deepest condolences to those who lost someone because of it, and to those suffering because of it, directly or indirectly. I hope that I could show you that our normal isn't normal. I'm just sorry it took a pandemic to realize it.